Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I'm just here to show love for Irene. Irene, if you're listening, I love you.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Oh, Rem.
I just thought I would send some love out to any of the Irenes out there. There's a couple listeners out here who are very touched right now.
I mean, my grandmother's name is Irene.
Hey, Deshaun's grandma, I love you.
She's also, like, objectively a horrible woman, but that's besides the point.
Shaun might be MILF Hunter extraordinaire. He might be the baby bringer. He might be president of the Turtle Club, but if he gets all the moms, that leaves all the grandmas to good old Remington.
Are you sure you want that to be your brand, Remington?
Look, no, I want to clarify. I'm not a gilf hunter, but I will hunt down Shaun's grandma. I will fuck all of Shaun Rollins' grandparents.
Oh god, that's a bold statement. Considering one of them is
living or dead.
Oh fuck! Considering Grandma Irene is currently blind, that won't be too hard. Like she won't see you coming.
This is how we're starting this episode? Oh, shit.
Yeah, especially considering this is your birthday episode, Rem. By the way, Rem, happy birthday!
Hey, happy birthday to one and all, and to all a good night.
Yeah, because, Rem, it's your birthday. Well, this isn't actually going up on your actual birthday, but pretty damn close.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a few days, few days after this goes up, it'll be my birthday, I think.
Yeah, this goes up on the 26th, I think, of November.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so, it's a good opportunity for us to celebrate your birthday, and unfortunately, we've already made the energy weird. We've already made it weird. And is it our fault?
My birthday wish is to fuck Shaun Rollins' grandparents.
Please stay away from my grandparents. I like some of them.
Just call me Grandpappy.
Oh God, that's we're delving into some Uncle Grandpa territory, and I don't know if I'm okay with this. This is some.
When I kiss them goodnight after the fingers love making session,
oh no,
I'll tell them you love them too.
Okay.
Is this usable? Has Dylan just cut this out?
You know he's not gonna cut this out, Rem. He's gonna find this hilarious. Like the hole we've dug ourselves in. And here's the thing, Rem. People are gonna look at the title of this week's anime and they're gonna be like, oh, they're finally doing this one. They're finally doing this one.
Oh, it's gonna be something like wholesome and adorable.
And I can't wait to hear what they have to say about it. They talk about it all the time. This is gonna be a great episode full of great, strong, wholesome vibes. And what an opening. It's gonna be even worse for our patrons who listen to the pre-banter for this episode, because it's gonna be like, hey, this is a long pre-banter. Where did they go? Must have been a complex quiz. You don't know the half of it. So, but no, this is where we are, Rem. Happy birthday, Rem. Today, Rem, we're going to be talking about one of your favorite anime of all time. Kind of.
Kind of.
So, Rem, if I had to ask you what your favorite anime was, what would you say?
Well, see, now I'm not thinking about what I would say. I'm thinking about what I would kind of say.
Okay.
Right. Especially in contrast. So, like, I don't know, favorite anime. I would actually have to, like, think about this, but some good contenders, like, I always talk Odd Taxi up. That's my go-to recommendation. Death Note's still pretty solid. I like me some super sweet nonsense, Place Further Than the Universe. Obviously, Banana Cat, 10 out of 10. You have those classics like Forest Fairy 5 or most of Kiki's Delivery Service, or also like Totoro, real good shit. I don't know. There's
See, here's your problem, Rem. You're thinking too genuinely for once.
See, all right. So I think it's my favorite, but as like a joking answer, it's going to be like Umaru-chan, Forest Fairy 5, or no anime at all.
Well, you got a little bit closer, Rem. But not really, because Remington, today we're going to have a little discussion about something that in recent times has become a little bit problematic. But, we're all about separating works from authors when appropriate. Because, Rem, we're going to be talking a little bit about Harry Potter today.
Oh, okay. Oh, of course. My favorite Harry Potter is my favorite anime, canonically.
Yes.
Um,
One of our first jokes on the podcast that we dug into the ground, and people still send us messages about it, which I find very charming.
Hey, we occasionally dig it up like we're doing right now.
Exactly.
We're not above that.
Not
Make
at all.
no mistake.
Yeah, no. And because of that goof, I've received loads of recommendations. Because, as it turns out, Remington...
We're just watching Harry Potter this week?
Oh, don't be ridiculous. Of course not. It's not it's not April Fool's, Rem. Don't be ridiculous. We are watching Harry Potter, but we're not really watching Harry Potter. Like, look,
Okay.
one day I'll do an April Fool's episode. Like, I did the Avatar one, which was kind of an April Fool's episode. There are people who still send me emails about
For
that.
what it's worth, there's a Patreon exclusive where I also did Avatar.
Except you really didn't. But, and it's a trope that we haven't really discussed too much in anime. But here's the thing, Rem. Ever since Harry Potter came out, anime studios in Japan have loved making magical school Harry Potter clones. Like, I'll tell you right, there are a metric fuck ton of magical school settings for
I mean, we've done at least one, well, we've done a couple, like, monster schools, but we've done
Yes.
one particular sort of, like, adventuring school, that a lot of people hated, and I didn't like, but I thought was overhated.
Man, that is so many different shows.
It was very saturated.
Very saturated.
There was a pink girl and a blue girl.
Rem, that does not narrow it down, my dude.
Oh, High Guardian Spice. That's what I was
the one,
thinking.
yeah.
Really a classic in the magic school genre, you know?
Yes. But, like, we've never really done, like, a pure, hey, this is a school for witch and wizards. The closest we've gotten was fucking, oh, God. Crap, the name just left me. Irregular at Magic High School. You remember that one,
Oh,
Rem?
yeah. I remember the name. Oh, wait, no, that one was trash, wasn't it?
Oh, it was one of the worst things you've ever seen on this podcast.
Yeah, it was fucking awful.
Yeah, no, it was the one that was like, oh, this is all magic, but it's actually technology. And
Yeah,
also, his sister wants to fuck him real bad.
Yes, and that one, I got a weird amount of hate for that. Fuck it. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, no. The people who defend that show really need to reassess. But that is hilariously the closest we've gotten to a Harry Potter clone on the podcast. But genuinely, people have been like trying to copy the, hey, let's send somebody to a magical school to be a wizard or witch formula ever since Harry Potter really spiked in popularity.
Okay, so what are we doing this week that fits that?
Well, this week, Rem, we're doing probably one of the best examples of that because it is your birthday, and I should give you, like, a little present, a little treat, something lovely.
I mean, it's anime, so we've already crossed that bridge and burned it.
Rem, we're an anime podcast.
Unfortunately.
we gotta stick to the branding, my guy.
As I am reminded every unfortunate week.
Look, Rem, we've got spin-offs in the works. It'll change eventually. For right now, we're just doing what we have successfully done so far. And you might enjoy this one, because the anime we're talking about today is simply titled, Little Witch Academia.
Alright, is this the magical spin-off of My Hero?
Man, the low-hanging fruit joke makes its appearance. Congratulations, Remington. That did not take
if this
any
was
effort
QI,
at
the
all.
Claxtons would be going off.
Exactly. The Claxtons would be going off like double, so you would say another follow-up joke, and then it would go up again, and then you'd say something slightly raunchy, and they would just say, not like that.
And then I would mention riddle.com and it would still Claxton and I'd be very confused. Good times. Anyway.
Yeah.
Why
don't we have a Claxton?
You know what? Hey, Dylan, could you?
Not after that grandma bit. No, you
know
don't
the
get
thing
shit.
that is just a loud sound that has a very heavy visual component. Can you add that to the podcast real quick? Just real quick.
Thanks, Dylan. We appreciate it.
Yeah, just a little.
All right. So what is Little Witch Academia? What should I know about it before watching?
Well, in an interesting transition, it is done by the same studio who made Cyberpunk Edgerunner.
Good old Trigger.
Yeah, you remembered.
Yes, because fortunately it was last week, so I have a vague memory of it. Do not think this to be the norm. It will not be.
I know, but still, Rem, like that. I know it was recent, but still, that actually made me like. I felt pride. I felt like a proud father.
And furthermore, Trigger, I want to clarify, is not Shaft.
This is correct. This is correct.
As we all know.
Yes. You'll recognize the art style as soon as you see it, because Trigger has a very, identifiable art style. Very cartoony and very, bouncy, you might say. And no, I'm not talking about boobs. I'm actually talking about bounciness. Like, it's got, though there are a lot of boobs in Trigger anime. I'm losing the thread. The point is, Studio Trigger made this anime, and it is a pretty straightforward one. It's another Netflix style anime, and it is quite simply just a lovely little story about our main character, Atsuko Kagari, who has dreams of being like a magical witch idol because she saw a wonderful magic performance from one of her heroes when she was really young and just has spent her life growing up wanting to be a cool, powerful, fun witch that can make people smile and have a good time around her. It is quite simply just the lovely story of Atsuko going to the school, having little misadventures along the way, doing the awkward, new kid around school thing.
Until she accidentally summons the Dark Lord.
Until she accidentally summons the Dark. I mean, look, I'm not saying that definitely happens. But it's a little story where there's some drama here and there. There's some strong, friendship vibes, and there might be some romance vibes here and there between some of the young witches there. But, it's up for debate for a lot of people. I don't know if it quite fully goes into Beatty territory, but there's a lot of shipping in this particular fandom.
Yeah. All right. Well, it has potential. We'll see if it makes it out the other side.
Yep. There are a couple other tropes and various things like that make her a bit special here and there, but really it's just a very colorful, fairly positive show about a girl who wants to be a magical idol, essentially.
All right. Fair enough.
So, without further ado, let's jump straight into it, because this was a very long first part, and let's go watch.
I mean, it was actually, it's only a 15-minute part one. That's a pretty...
Yeah, but it feels much longer considering how we started it, Rem. And I'm not talking about the pre-banter. I'm talking about all the stuff related to grandmothers. So...
Come for you, G-Ma Rollins.
Oh, dear God. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Let's go watch some Little Witch Academia. You may have used a magical spell, but you cannot beat my spell of Bitcoin!
I want to clarify, do not go to Irene about your multiple sclerosis diagnosis. I feel like I'm watching a non-satirical abridged series.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after watching 4 whole episodes of...
Incorrect.
5 whole episodes
there we go.
Of Little Witch Academia. Ah, man, I should have changed that in my notes. In my defense, Rem, I fucked up. A little bit. I mean, to be fair, in a way, we both fucked up. Because, Rem, this was supposed to be your birthday episode. We recorded part 1 right before.
Don't worry. Last week, they'll be a little bit confused about us talking about it in part 1, but last week it was our Thanksgiving episode. Went great. This week, it's my birthday episode. Don't worry about it. Details.
It's fine. definitely
minute.
not because I was out of town for a solid week and we failed to record in that time frame. That,
Yeah,
that has nothing to do with it. That completely irrelevant. The important thing is, Rem.
Oh, but hey, Shaun, don't worry. You left me to watch fucking Paradise PD.
Hey,
I got April Fool's last week, Shaun.
yeah, it doesn't feel good, does it, Rem?
No, it feels pretty shit. I'll be honest.
Yeah, and hey, in my defense, I had no fucking clue what Dylan was going to show you.
Well, let's get going into Little Witch Academia, shall we?
Yes, Rem. Was this a proper birthday present, or is this just another weird little school show?
I think that it's possible that some people might get mad at me.
Really?
Yes. Now here's the thing. I liked the show, all right? It was
Okay.
a pleasant show.
Okay.
It was enjoyable.
All right.
It's a fun little romp.
Interesting.
That being said, it is not without its flaws, and this is the kind of show that it seems like some people might not take criticism well with, you know?
So you're saying there's some diehard fans out there who, the second you start insulting their favorite characters from this show, they are going to come at you with pitchforks in hand, teeth bared, and ready to bloody us.
Yes. And let's get into it. So we open up with a little intro about like School of Magic as we have a sort of like shape-shifting water light show going on. And little Akko, she's in the audience just truly bewitched by the performance going on.
If you'll excuse the pun.
And then a demon shows up and the person doing the show kills the demon. And we see that this made an impression on Akko, and she grows up and she's now excited that she's going to be attending Luna Nova. She struggles to find it, but runs into a girl who we'll later learn is Susie, who's sort of just like very ghostly and pale and likes mischief and poison. And like that's Susie's deal, right?
Yeah.
They have a little confrontation. Then when Akko's finally able to figure out what the fuck is going on, she realizes, well, she can't fly a broom to where she needs to fly up to. Oh no. But then a different girl, Lot, shows up and helps her out. So there we go. While they're being transported, some stuff goes wrong, and they end up essentially getting, I'm going to describe it as getting off on the wrong exit. It's a little bit weirder than that, but this is simpler. Getting off on the wrong exit, they end up in some spooky forests, with some beasties and a broken broom. Susie ends up there as well and gives some like exposition what's going on. There's a lot of beasts in here, including a gigantic cockatrice. Things are going chaotically. Before Akko eventually at one point finds her idol's wand. Now let me say something now at this point.
Okay, right?
So it's the idol from the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
So her idol is Shiny Chariot, right?
Right.
I didn't read and thus didn't write down Chariot for the first episode.
Oh, no.
Especially what made sense in my mind for multiple reasons was Shiny Charlotte. You got the good alliteration going on. It's a name, right? That adds up. And there was in episode 2 where I was like, oh shit, that's not Chariot. That is Charlotte. I mean, that's not Charlotte. That's Chariot. Fuck. Nonetheless, I think Shiny Charlotte is better. So
that's your first big criticism. The fact that like the magical witch idol is called Chariot and not Charlotte.
that's not my criticism. That's just me explaining why I'm going to call her Shiny Charlotte for the remainder.
No, no, you realize your own mistake. You can't just admit like, look, I was wrong in this, but I'm still gonna make the mistake.
I'm doubling down, baby. Doubling down.
You can't double down on something you've already admitted to doing wrong. That's
And
not
yet-
doubling down. That's recommitting a prior offense.
So, anyway, she finds Shiny Charlotte's wand.
Jesus Christ.
And use it as a distraction, is able to utilize its power. There's the principle that Shiny Charlotte teaches where it's like magic comes from believing in yourself, right? And I will say just overall, like the sort of storytelling and like especially I noticed this in the music, it feels very like traditional, right? It feels like if you took a 90s cartoon and then mixed it with some like My Hero Academia and sort of smushed them together, right? It just has a quite classic style of storytelling, which is fun. Except, well, there are some criticisms about that later on. Nonetheless, they arrive at they get to the school, and of course, the three of them are roommates.
They were roommates.
They were roommates. Episode two. Episode 2, Akka wakes up, she's super excited, right? She tries and fails to do magic with her nice fancy wand. Susie, meanwhile, is just making poison.
I mean, is it poison, or is it just fun magical potions?
She describes it as poison, so...
well...
I'm taking her word for it.
The chef's special, as it were.
Yeah. We see that one teacher who, we briefly saw, we briefly saw this teacher looking out for the girls in the forest. We learn her name is Ursula, and she is a bit of a wreck. Things are not going great. Also, as we will find out, Ursula... I mean, I guess we technically don't find this out. Technically, I don't know this to be true. But Ursula is definitely shiny Charlotte. So...
I like how you had to take a beat there to make sure you said it incorrectly. It was a fraction of a beat, and most people probably wouldn't have noticed that. But I've known you a while, Rem, and I know for a fact you were about to correctly say Shining Chariot.
That's because I was looking at my note that was like, oh shit, it's Chariot. And I just ignoring it. You don't worry about it. So Ursula is definitely Shiny Charlotte, and she talks with Akko. Then Akko goes to class. We see a girl, Diana Cavendish, who's super smart and talented. And here, all right, let's start talking about the flaws, because Diana is one of the flaws. Not her as a character who's like, fine, whatever, a little bland, but she's talented at everything. She shows herself to be like better than all the teachers, which is a little frustrating unless I guess one possible twist is that Diana is not a young student prodigy, but actually like a 1,000-year-old witch or something, which would make some of this more forgivable. Other stuff still not great, because she's even if that were true, she's still a bit bland. A bit one note, but importantly, Diana Cavendish is not like a terrible human. But Akko, our very sympathetic main character who seems very positive and upbeat, fucking hates Diana. Fucking despises Diana. And it's just, and well, another character we'll learn about, Amanda. Like, Akko and Amanda talk about how shitty Diana is, but they're just being jealous bitches? Like, maybe if you made Diana more of a bitch. Like, she's abrasive, generally speaking, but most of the hostility is coming from everybody else. Susie has been far more hostile than Diana.
Look, just because she's a bit, rough around the edges and makes poisons, doesn't mean you have to throw slander at her like this, Rem.
Hey, Susie's a blast. She's super fun. But why are Akko and Susie friends, despite Susie, like, openly disliking everybody, but for some reason still joining them with no explanation of why Susie wants to be part of the gang? Like, I thought there was going to be some, like, bonding moment in these episodes. No, it's just Susie's part of the gang. She's part of the main trio that are always hanging out and doing stuff together. When did the switch happen between Susie not wanting anything to do with these motherfuckers and suddenly, sure, why not? Everything you guys are doing, I'm a part of it. That didn't happen. Like, they missed some crucial steps. So Diana is a villain, even though she's really not. And then Susie is a close friend for some reason. Am I missing some episodes here? Because it really feels, at times, while watching Little Witch Academia, I feel like I'm watching a non-satirical abridged series. Because we're going to go into a couple of the arcs, but every single episode is its own arc. And now, not in the sense of like, oh, you want an arc for storytelling, you should follow a general rhythm. No, I mean, like, in the classical sense of like a multi-episode arc, right? Condensed into just one. And it's not for the better. So, in this episode, Akko is like, it's a little bit classes are boring. Magic is supposed to be exciting. Which like at one point you're like, is the lesson Akko is meant to learn that like you got to discipline yourself sometimes, right? You gotta you have the passion, but you also need the discipline. But like sort of not, because what we later learn is there's sort of 3 types of magic in this world, Shaun. All right. First, you have the passionate kind of magic. This is Akko or Shiny Charlotte, right? This is driven by believing in yourself, passion, love, enthusiasm, right? That's one kind of magic, which we learn is not a very well respected kind of magic in this world. The second is what you get in the school. It's discipline and knowledge, right? Getting all the details right. That's what Diana represents. The third, which we have not seen yet, is cryptocurrency. The third kind of magic is it's sort of like making that cash money.
Haha! You may have used a magical spell, but you cannot beat my spell of Bitcoin!
I'll be honest, I'm not being that satirical. We'll get into it, all right?
Yeah, no.
He describes it as magic, though, all right? The Bitcoin he's doing is magic somehow.
Look, he's just trying to offload his really nasty monkey pictures.
So there are those 3 types of magic, and right now it's not clear how much overlapping they are, because it feels like they should overlap, but everything the show has done indicates that they're sort of just mutually exclusive, which is a questionable route, because I would have thought, like, yeah, no, the Akko, she may not be the most school smart, but she'll, like, get by enough, and it's her passion that leads her the rest of the way, because she's just so passionate. But instead, it's like, nah, fuck all the school learning bullshit. It's all passion, fuck the rest of it. I don't know, it's a weird balance that it's striking thus far, that I don't think is ideal.
I mean, in fairness, there are 25 episodes in the season, so
why couldn't they have paced it out better over here?
Yeah, like, the beginning's a bit. It's a bit.
So, in the second episode, right, we have a pseudo duel between Diana and Akko, apropos basically nothing. And Diana shows that she's very powerful, and Akko can't do shit. Even though she's heavily believing in herself, but she has no talent, so like maybe it's that it, but later on she'll be able to do some stuff. I don't know. This is a soft magic system, which I'm sort of okay with, but it's a soft magic system that doesn't seem to be following its own rules. I don't like Akko believes in herself. She's so confident, and she's doing nothing. And it's like, oh, she needs to learn magic. Okay, is the believing in yourself relevant at all? Then I don't understand. I will say though, I do like the execution of this general like believe in yourself premise much better than an oddly similar show of Kill la Kill.
Done by the same studios, my guy.
I feel like Little Witch Academia is what happens if they were like, I want to recreate Kill la Kill, but I also want my 9-year-old to watch. And under that lens, I'll be honest, I think that's just exactly it. I'm trying to think of any like flaws in that analogy. It's sort of perfect.
Studio Trigger is very much known for, like, a lot of Studio Trigger works tend to have some similar theming about self-actualization and self-belief being a source of power and strength. It's a thing a lot of like the top folks there love to really explore and turn into entertaining shows. How it's done in each show is a little different here and there, but you're kind of spot on with that comparison.
Yeah. So also in episode 2, I'm skipping over quite a bit. We learned that there's the Jennifer Memorial Tree, which is generally feeling unhealthy. Ursula / Shiny Charlotte knows that it's because of some pupa that are sort of getting ready to hatch down below in its roots, and is excited for that to happen because apparently that signals like, I don't know, a miracle or some shit. There's some stuff going on with that. We've just learned about those pupa because Akko likes a card game where Shiny Charlotte is she's on like half the cards, but not all the cards. Like, it's not a Shiny Charlotte card game, but most of the witches on the cards are Shiny Charlotte. I don't fully know what's up with that, but And one of the cards is the pupa, so we get told about that. Diana revitalizes the tree, but then superpowers the pupa, which then cause the tree to go crazy and start breaking stuff. I'll be honest, still don't understand why it did that. Diana starts to kill what she sees as parasites, but Akko understands what's going on, so she gets in the way, almost gets killed herself. The things all hatch after Akko casts a spell with a little bit of Diana's help, because Diana is not a terrible person. And Diana, everybody shows up and they're like, "Oh, Diana, you did so good." And Diana is hesitant to accept the credit because she doesn't deserve all the credit. So like, hey, Diana is nuanced. I dig that. I like the nuance in Diana. But then why the fuck is Akko such a bitch?
Would it make you feel better if I tell you that this antagonistic relationship does not last long?
It makes it weirder because then why, Akko? You're supposed to just like, you seem so wholesome and fun-loving, and then you're randomly a jealous bitch in one episode, hardcore. Why? Why? I don't understand. So this episode, a little bit rushed on the pacing, but not terrible. We're still like, it's okay. Decent ideas, decent concept, like the nuance it introduces. Episode 3, there's like a flying class. Akko can't fly, and is getting teased. It's such an overused trope to be like, the new girl gets teased by basically everybody as the default. It's like, maybe it's less interesting, because instead, if it's like, oh, people are generally welcoming, but you have those bitches over there, then it feels more meaningful. It just feels lazy, and it's so overdone. It's not the worst, but once again, not great. And now we get into what should be at least 2 episodes, talking about the broom relay. There's a very popular broom relay. It's very prestigious, between students in teams of 3, and Akko sees that Shiny Charlotte won one year, so she wants to win, to be like her idol, Shiny Charlotte. And so she's like, "Hey, Lot and Susie, let's do it." And Lot and Susie are like, "Oh, I don't know, sure, why not?" Even though Akko can't fly, and they try to like teach her how to fly. There's like a little montage, but there's two separate montages. There's 2 separate broom montages in this one episode. Not just in this one episode, in the first half of this one episode. We get introduced to a legendary broom, the Shooting Star, which is caged up, which never stops flying, even if its owner falls off, so it's caged up and it's very expensive. We meet a girl, Amanda, who's a bit of an abrasive show-off. She sets like a new record. She's very talented, right? Diana sets a new record. I'm sorry, because she's the best at everything. Amanda is just doing acrobatics and showing off on the broom. And so you might think, okay, so this episode is like preparing. No, this episode has all of that. And now we have the relay that it's been building up to. And the second half is the relay and the payoff for all of that. Holy shit. Maybe calm the fuck down.
But Rem, there's a Yeti in this episode. Isn't that fun?
It's so, it was enjoyable and weird, and it made me I still sort of don't understand the level of absurdity and absurdist humor the show is going for. I'm still a little unclear on that.
That's Studio Trigger.
Most of the time it's like very grounded, right? And it's like silly and zany, but still quite grounded. And then we had literally what I would identify as the only like truly absurd thing about this show is that scene that we're about to get to, where I was like, oh, how tonally dissonant. I enjoyed it, but I'm confused.
That is also a hallmark of any Studio Trigger production.
Yeah. So we have the relay now. Susie sabotages everybody. We see a girl with like a mechanical broom and a competitive eater girl who's also gets sabotaged. Susie is just like all about the sabotage. Would have been dope to hear like a little bit of this planning. Also, once again, don't know why Susie is so close to them, but I guess Susie likes to sabotage, so maybe that would be why. Amanda, meanwhile, has the out-of-control broom. She got that. I don't know how she got it, but it's hers now. Amanda, she seemed like she was going to be an interesting character. She's sort of shit, I'll be honest. I thought she was going to be dope, because like her introduction doing acrobatics and then like getting this broom, I was like, ooh. But she's just sort of a dumb hothead and nothing else. And I was like, oh, but like dumb talented hothead? Not really, which loses a bit. Like I thought it would be interesting to have like Akko, Amanda, and Diana all racing. Diana just because like she's very talented. Amanda, she got the crazy broom. And then Akko, because her and her team are pulling a lot of hijinks, right? And that would be interesting. Just a little final three action. But no, very quickly, like Amanda falls off the broom. She's done. Don't worry about her. Akko then captures the broom, but then falls off it again. And then lands on the broom and then falls off it again. And then the broom gets free and grows wings and flies away. And she falls, but she's saved by Diana, who then like saves her. Is like, hey, there you go. Because Diana's fine, y'all. And then Diana wins. K. This so obviously should have been at minimum 2 episodes. It's insane. Because both the preparation needed more time to breathe and build, right? And then the race itself should have had more time to exist. If it was just episode 3 is all the preparation, right? First half you try to teach Akko how to broom. She can't, so they have to come up with a new plan. Meanwhile, Amanda, we see her. She gets it's all about how she gets the broom and shit. Dope. That's what you need for episode 3. Then episode 4, you have the relay where it's sort of like fruition. Amanda's struggling to control this crazy broom. It never gets to Akko. Don't give the broom to Akko. Akko and her team are all about plucky underdog hijinks, all right? That's what they're about. Meanwhile, Diana and her team, they're just talented. Amanda and her team, they're fine, but they're relying on Amanda at the very end. Because Amanda's broom is just like super OP if she can control. That would have been dope. That would have been so good. We got a little bit of a mess instead. And the mess had good moments, but Jesus Christ. All right, you ready for another episode like that?
Oh dear.
In fact, are you ready for 2 more episodes that are also like that are just far too ambitious to do in 1 episode? Because episode 4 and 5 are in that category. All right, episode 4. It's about Lot. Lot, we see her texting late at night. Cool. She's texting someone about like a cool sort of convention-y style thing. The girls all get in trouble because Akko stole a tart. I'm unclear whether the other girls were even a part of this or whether it was just Akko who stole a tart because apparently the food was bad, which I feel like all we needed was like a comment before this that the food was actively bad. It seemed fine. But okay, sure, why not? So they get detention, which ruins Lot's plans. But then they decide they're going to sneak out anyway, which is super easy. Like, it's nothing to sneak out of this magical school. And Lot wants to meet the author of these very popular novels that have been written for over 100 years. It's going to finally have an author reveal. There's a big event going on. So they all sneak in. Even Susie, who I don't know why Susie is here. I don't understand.
I feel like Susie goes wherever she wants to go, really.
But why does she always want to be with 2 people who she has no reason to like?
I mean, they're also like the only 2 people who regularly talk to her. That's the other thing.
But Susie doesn't like that. Susie has given every indication of like preferring to go solo. So yeah, they are the only 2 to talk to her. She seems like she'd be like, all right, you 2 get the fuck away. I'm going to have some alone time finally. Our first introduction to her character was all about how much she didn't want to interact with Akko. All about how Akko was way too much for Susie. That's literally how we open up to Susie. That's how we learn about Susie. And we never see something that should change that at this stage. It's just because she's the 3rd protagonist, I guess. Anyway, they go to this event, right? It feels a lot like me at a convention where there's just a lot of hyper-specific cosplays, and Lot recognize them. The other girls are like, what the fuck? And we meet the author, Annabelle Krem, who is just a little girl. She's a lolly girl. I don't know her age. It's not super clear. We know that she's relatively young, but we don't know how young. And she's not 120 plus years old. But she's like just texting. She sort of doesn't care. She's chronically online. There's a little trivia challenge, which Lot wins. And it's announced, all right, hey, here's my very fancy fountain pen. Also, this means that I'm actually the 12th Annabelle. Now you're the 13th. Congratulations. Later, bitch. And Annabelle teleports away. Which Annabelle apparently is not even a witch, we learn. Which I don't really know why that's relevant. They made it seem like it was a sort of big deal, but whatever. Lot, we learned, doesn't want to be the next Annabelle. She wants to be a fan of their work, not to write the work. So she sings to the pen to get a pen spirit out there to tell about more backstory-ish. They find Annabelle, who has been disheartened by online comments. Which I'm gonna say, like, it's okay if Annabelle doesn't want to be Annabelle. It's also like, hey, don't be a dick online, because like you have a genuine impact on people.
Yeah, that's a little more real than you guys know.
Yeah. So
like some of the emails we got recently were very interesting. Let me just put it to you that way.
Good times. But like if Annabelle is like, hey, this is too stressful, like I don't want to be, like, that's fine. That's okay. Or like after a pep talk, if she wants to again, cool, that's also okay. And after a pep talk, they do want to again. They learned that the person that Lot has been messaging late at night and who was in a Big Ben costume, I want to specify, just as Big Ben, the clock tower. We learned that they're at school, and then we briefly see them in the background. I like they didn't draw too much attention to this. It was, I can't remember their name. It's the short teacher. Short important one. I don't remember. I don't remember which ones they are, but I like that detail. And then they go back to being generally in trouble because, of course, they snuck out. Once again, solid. Would have loved if this was a two-parter. Would have thought it would be a real, and there's like a built-in cliffhanger, right? The first half is just going up until Lot is announced as the 13th Annabelle, and Lot's like, wait, what? And then you have Annabelle disappear. Boom! Perfect ending to an episode. Great cliffhanger. You're able to have more build, right? Better pacing for sure. And then the second half, you're able to actually explore more of like Annabelle, her character, rather than just her randomly showing up, leaving, coming back up, and deciding in 1 minute, yeah, I guess actually I am okay with being Annabelle again. All I needed was some strangers to say, hey, I like your stuff though. Well, gee, thanks. Guess my anxiety is gone now. Just slow the fuck down. Alright, we get to episode 5. Episode 5, we have some like cooking gone wrong and miscellaneous stuff. Amanda starts a bitchy argument where Amanda and Akko now apparently have sort of a rivalry going on. I don't know why. Diana fixes their problems. Akko and Amanda are punished for fighting. Then Akko bonds with Amanda over how much they hate Diana? Why? This is the moment I mentioned earlier. What the fuck? Like, maybe this works for Amanda, and I guess it, like, helps them bond together, but I feel like the bonding, instead of being like, Diana fucking sucks, it could have been like, God, Diana's so talented, but I want to be number one. Which there's, like, one comment made in this whole ordeal about sort of that, but they can bond over how both of them want to take over Diana's spot, and how, like, she's so talented, and it's frustrating, not because Diana's a bad person, just because she's so talented that it's hard to compare, right? Like, instead of bitchy complaints, it can sort of just be commiserating, right? I don't understand what the fuck's going on. Anyway, dragons steal the Sorcerer's Stone, which is the soul power of the school. They tell the principal, and apparently there was a prophecy, but the teachers are like, oh, just go back and keep doing laundry. Diana shows up and discourages them to try and fix it. And what I thought was going on here was that this was sort of like a backwards test, right? Because it's a wizard school. You got weird tests like this all the time, where it's like Diana is coming to tell them not to, but Diana was sent by the teachers, right? And maybe this whole thing was orchestrated by the teachers, so that Amanda and Akko would go on a little group adventure and put their troubles aside, right? It makes sense. It feels like a nice little quaint story that very much fits the vibe of this show. Like, but that would be better than what we actually get. What we get, once again, it has a lot of fun stuff. Just a lot. So they go along with the main crew and sort of the B crew, which is the techie and the girl who likes to eat a lot. Which it'd be nice if we saw Amanda interact with them at all, since it seems like they're her crew. But Amanda sort of just doesn't care about them. So Amanda, Akko, and the rest show up. The rest all end up getting trapped. But Amanda and Akko find the ruins down below that the dragons are lurking within. They find a giant dragon that Akko immediately just confronts. Like, you could have had a moment where they're like actually trying to hide herself. No, Akko immediately confronts, which is fine. The dragon is just sort of annoyed at what's going on. He frees everybody. He's like, are you here to, like, pay? And they're like, what? And he's like, for the Sorcerer's Stone, you owe a lot of money. And then the principal shows up and is like, hey, we're here to give you some of the interest in the payment. Essentially, there's some, like, mob boss shit going on where it's like, hey, I paid you, and you can't pay the interest. I'm going to take this Sorcerer's Stone to set an example. We learn genuinely that the dragon, he talks about, like, the different kinds of magic, right? And so here's another weird thing. We learned that the school doesn't respect Shiny Charlotte's magic, right? Her style of magic, bottom barrel. Whereas the school, much more prestigious in its magic. No, actually, as we learned from the dragon, the school, not a very prestigious form of magic. We lied. It's a bullshit kind of magic. It's fuddy-duddy. It's out of date. And the school isn't doing well because of that. Now, the dragon is like, future's now, old lady. And he genuinely, his magic, I don't know how it is magic, but somehow he uses magic for some form of stock market trade.
I mean, shit, I don't understand how that stuff works, so it might as well be magic to me, Rem.
It's funny and silly, but once again, I thought the point was Shiny Charlotte's magic was the trash kind of magic, but now it's like, I don't know, what magic is respected in this world? Is it just crypto magic? Shiny Charlotte's magic isn't respected, that passionate kind of magic. Then the disciplined, well-learned kind of magic, that's not respected in the world, apparently. So, only crypto magic is respected in the world of Little Witch Academia, and I don't know what to do with this information. I don't... What the fuck?
Oh, God.
This whole episode, it's so weirdly paced, and even more so than the others. Then Diana shows up. She's like, hey, I actually read the contract that apparently no one else could read, but I can read Draconic, and I learned that actually there's no interest this whole time. They've overpaid, so you actually owe us money. And then all the girls, that's settled then, I guess, and then the girls go back and do more laundry because they're still in trouble, I guess. I don't know. It's weird and fucked.
Rem, when I picked this show, I did not expect it to give you so many issues and questions.
This show doesn't need to be as complicated as it is. It's simple and happy, and it seems like that's what it wants to be. But then it shoots itself in the foot with the weirdest pacing, and it's okay if you want to tell these more elaborate stories. Give yourself 2 episodes to tell it, bud. It's not that hard. Like, you have 25, apparently. You have more than enough to pace things out a little bit better. Why are you rushing through? And it has great moments. It's super charming. The art style is delightful. The music, once again, it feels more traditional, like classic cartoons, right? Like some old school Disney shit. It has which is great. It's magical. But the storytelling and the pacing, it's a clusterfuck, dude. I guess I'm probably rating this similar to how I talked about Cyberpunk Edge Runners a couple weeks back, where it was like, it is very, very flawed, and I enjoyed my time with it. But man, what the fuck is this storytelling? Take a moment. And normally, there's so many people. I still get comments and accusations that people are like, Remington, he can't appreciate slower paced shows, right? He always needs things to go fast. No, it just... There's pacing issues, there's storytelling issues, they're separate, but unfortunately, Little Witch Academia has both.
Oh, man. This is a ride, Rem. So you're telling me I fucked up your birthday. I'm sorry, bud. I didn't mean to do that to you. I just wanted to give you something nice.
I did. I enjoyed myself. It's better than most of the anime we've seen on this podcast, but it's just not the pacing issues you're probably not going to worry about if you're young, but then also maybe like too much shit is going on if you're that young to not care. I don't know. I'm confused on the target audience here. The show is good, but this could be an amazing show. It could have been, and it wasn't.
Well, who knows, Rem? Maybe there's something in the remaining remaining 20 episodes that'll change your opinion on that.
It's too many. Especially if the storytelling is like this. That's what the fuck is going on.
Oh, Rem. Like, I'm sure we're going to get loads of emails from the die-hard Witch Academia fans, and they're going to be like, you son of a bitch, Shaun, why did you only show him 5 episodes? Why didn't you show him up to such and such? Why didn't you show him up to episode 10?
I feel like 5 was enough to get a pretty good impression.
That's what I thought, too. But there are a lot of things that change as the show goes on, and a lot of people really do enjoy this, and a lot of people adorable.
If you want a simple recipe for this show, it is My Hero Academia. Not just because Academia, but also because like you have some focus on ensemble cast, stuff like that, right? My Hero Academia combined with High Guardian Spice, and I combined those two to mention both of their pros and both of their cons.
Yeah, see, now that formula is what's really gonna piss people off, I'm sure.
Hey, in that formula is a show that is many people's number 1 of all time. And then there's My Hero Academia.
Jesus, I knew it was coming. Oh, God. Holy shit, man. I cannot iterate enough to you, Rem, how there are nobody who view High Guardian Spice as their favorite show of all time. Like, it's like, you know how, it's like people say about Pokemon, Rem. You know how everybody says they have a favorite Pokemon and every Pokemon is somebody's favorite Pokemon? Yeah. I mean, like, Quillfish exists. You remember Quillfish?
Quillfish is a fucking weirdo, dude.
I mean, it's a pufferfish, cool, yeah.
I will note, someone actually did a thing where they surveyed like 50,000 people, and they found that there were 4 Pokemon that were nobody's favorite.
Oh, do you by chance know which 4 of those were? Because I'm actually really curious now.
I do. First, that'll be a pre-banter, right? That's a great pre-banter.
Easy pre-banter. Ha! If you want that pre-banter, you can head over to Patreon context.
Hey, I will say, guys, you want to hop on that Patreon soon, because here in December, oh baby, things are gonna be happening.
Let's just say that we're making up for past faults.
But yeah, so it's a good show, wildly flawed. I wish it was better. Yeah.
Well, like I said, Rem, maybe this will be a good candidate for revisits, and maybe, just maybe, once we get past, I think episode 10 is where a lot of people are like, but this is where their relationship really kicks off, type of thing, and it goes from there, and people are like, yeah, that's great here. Or maybe people are like, oh yeah, no, Rem, you nailed it. We don't need to see any more of this. I'm curious to hear what people say, because after all, this show did come out back in 2017, and we got a lot of recommendations for it, but they kind of teetered off in the past couple of years, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But with that in mind, final question, Rem, any chance you'd like to watch a little bit more Little Witch Academia with me?
Probably. Sure.
Fantastic. We'll keep an eye on those emails, and I'll let you know in the future how that goes. But with that, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy Rem getting a birthday present that confuses him greatly, then head on over to wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, etc., and leave us a review. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where myself, Remington, and Dylan do occasionally play video games exceedingly poorly. And Remington has actually streamed in the past couple weeks of us recording
and
this.
I'm going to be streaming more.
Yep, as shall I, as soon as I get my life in order. The more streaming content's coming, y'all. We're working on it. But if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you're getting access to all kind of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to have your name read aloud on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
As always, we would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who are talking shit about us, even though we literally saved their life. What the fuck is your deal? And on that list, we have Zombie Stomp, Zhao Sheng, Hao Zhong, Wu Shize, Wai O Bing Chilling. I don't know, man. Xanix, Yandere Waifu Eyes, Yandere Neko, Why Shaun, Why Shaun, Whomstuff. What do you call a herd of cows masturbating? Beef Stroganoff. Walk Me Home
I
Gently.
hate that.
Way to Shell, Trenton Farrell, Totally God, The Susanator, The Big Bean. Support group for sexually harassed deities. Static Shock is my favorite anime. Stacy's mom, Silent Secondary. JoJo Addict, who doesn't need help, just more manga to read and anime to watch. Shaun still uses Internet Explorer, sounds like he likes it nice and slow. Salty Pretzel, Ross Palmer. Rhiannon Williams, Rem continues to crush my soul. Quick, while Shaun's not looking, share something secret about him. Well, now he is looking, but a fun little secret about Shaun. This is true. He prefers to wear crusty socks.
No, that is not true. What fucking slander is this? Holy shit.
That's a true fact.
That is not a true fact.
True secret let out in the world.
No. No. You don't use socks because that's awful for your washing machine.
Once he told me in a moment of sincerity and secrecy that a week and a half after is the ideal. A week and a half of build-up.
Oh, Jesus, fuck. God, did we not get the explicit tag in this episode? Did you need to throw something right at the end just so that we could have earned it?
Most people aren't paying attention to the Patreon readings. That's fine. Prediction out of context. Rem used the power of the Lord of Light to revive Shaun, but now he is evil. Not quite. No, Shaun is back, but he didn't try to be evil this episode. Please be an angel and show Rem 7 Deadly Sins to tie into the White Sword set. Paco El Musico, No Waifu No Laifu, Nitsaira, Nick Harvey. My manga will be about a penguin going through its Chunibyo phase, says Misako with smug confidence. Love that idea. MILF Hunter X Hunter, a story about a young Shaun searching for his big-boobed waifu mommy. Mikeka 7 Hierto, Mexican Gone Freaks. Mato2 Max, Lizzie Anthea. Letting y'all decide if I should quit my job. Should I? Don't worry, Shaun, I already covered this last week, so as long as they took the advice there, they should be fine. Leave Denji and Pochita out of harm's way, Shaun. King Richrock, Cassidy, Just a Traveler. Just got my first tattoo under 24 hours from boarding a flight. Mistakes were made. Very questionable. Jax, Jam Hands. In My Hero Academia, the villains are more relatable than the heroes. In Jingle Bells Tune, Angel Beats, we have to watch. This is for Farmer Weeb and his tremendous cause. Hey, I want Rem to ruin Darling in the Franxx for me. Hunter Davies. How could you not mention Edgerunner's music at all? Like, what the fuck? Hashire sore yokaze no yu ni Tsukumahara wa paddle-ru. Hashire sore yokaze no yu ni Tsukumahara wa paddle-ru. Glenn Michael Dolan, Gay Bootsex, Fuck of Love Fox and My, Ferdy the Birdman is still going strong in Non-Stop Nut November. Farmer Weeb wants you to be an angel for the birds. Fantide, Extreme Cobra, Elite Knight, Duck. Drink chocolate milk to prevent wobbly bones, not a conspiracy. Dickite, Mimicin, Pikachurin, Trispentafluorethyl, Trifluorophosphate, also known as FAP, and finally Trans14Biz4 Pridal Eth. Darth Pikachu, Creed 13, Cheese Monkey, Charles Crumpton, Cage in the House, Brockhard for Geodudes, Blood for the Blood God, Skulls for the Skull Throne, Big Blue Bear Boy, bad anime idea, basically just a slideshow of primary colors, audio glitch, and when that final moment came to pass, like Christ, I came riding on an ass. Elise Howard, AJ Tunnels, AJ Angel Honey, A Days, Aaron Heglin, and now we go to the Boy Wizard tier where you get the task you avoided by writing a Patreon name. Chris, you get planning your fiance's B-Day. Break for emergency puns. We actually don't need the emergency puns anymore, so I guess I'll just read this one. To solve an unfinished puzzle, all you need is one piece.
Ha.
Spicitis. So it's emphasis on both spy and psi. Spicitis. Which I feel like is weird, but Dylan taught me last week. And now we actually move to the Boy Wizard tier, where everybody is going to get their own random Harry Potter fanfiction. What could go wrong?
So many things, Rem. So many things.
We was actually talking about Hollywood Undead last time, also distracted by hunger. You get The Social Worker's Daughter. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I don't want to know.
Warning, you're 799 episodes away. You get What's in a Name or a Face. Vincent Calabrese, you get La Lettre Manelle. I can't speak French. And it looks like that one is entirely in French. So there you go. To get into my Rem cosplay, I recite the mantra, become another person. You get The Thing About Dreams. The Great Ball of Despair, you get Letters to Makusa. Shane Ware would like to request again that you watch all of Clan Ed with BS Rule. At least listen to Dango Daikazoku. You get It Hurts Me More Than It Hurts You. Shaun, will you keep your promise from episode 13 at 38:45 and 43:45? We have been waiting. Shaun, you made a promise in episode 13, so just letting you know.
Episode 13. Oh, Jesus fuck, people have long memories.
They timestamped it for you, so there you go.
I guess I'll go and look at that and see if it's something that I can actually commit to.
Meanwhile, you get Reading HP 2. Shaun, you are my idol, and just like you, I also like Boku no Pico. You get The Betrothal Contract of 1926. These are not the names I was anticipating, by the way. These are just wild. Sarah Bernarski.
These are still Harry Potter fanfics, right?
Yeah. You get Ein andere Perspektive. Über Arbeit. Can you guess that it's German? Reincarnated from instrumentality. I am the angry German. Luckily, there's angels to beats. It's Isekai Spec Ops Asuka. You are going to get Supermarket. Nico Ni. You get Chamboulet Le Monde Tome 5. Le Tonneau de Toi Écolé. God, my French is so bad.
To be fair, it's about on par with your German.
It's true. My Afro My Dog. You get Arthur et Molly, Des Parents Formidable. I don't know, man. Fuck. Why is there so much French? I didn't expect there to be this quantity of French.
Hey, to all our fans out there who speak French or understand French, please give us your criticisms on Rand's French pronunciation. I'd love to hear exactly what he's doing wrong and why he's doing it wrong, or if he's surprisingly doing well.
I'm not. Mike got his Overlord review. You get Dora Tonks Grows Up. Miguel Delio.
Oh, God.
You get Headmaster Fudge. Massimo Martelli, you are going to get In War We Trust. Latino Stopped Eating, waiting for an answer to tweet comment on Pokemon starters. You are going to get Protego. Just call me Goofy because I'm about to yuck you up. You get Lily Potter, Unterspiegel der Raj. The Raj? Yeah. Inuyasha is my favorite cryptid, believes in angels. This has got a lot of people supporting Angel Beats here. You get Silent Melody. If you don't watch Healer Girl, an Angel Beats, a Penguin Up. Also, Irem, I'm still a girl. You get Heroes, Villains, and everything in between. Hellarex, you... Oh, wait, no, we're in, No, all right, we're still... All right, it's fine. I thought we had done the Switch. We're not in the Switch yet. It's fine. Hellarex, you get Diary of a Mage Slayer. Go ahead, call the cops who won't silence the voices. They're getting louder. Please send help. You get Unlikely Allies. Deep dive into the mind of an adolescent male. MILFs for Shaun. Child death and inner dialogue for Rem. Nisioisin, Time to Do It. I don't understand.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Fugitivi, Evitando el Amor. That's the one you get. Crimson Reapers, just because of the size. So you get The Guise of Family. Beethoven 1201, you are going to get The Guise of Loyalty by the same author. Crazy.
He must really like the word guys.
Anime Girl, you get Vagary. Animated Z, you get Poison Pen. Angel Father is counting down until next Bonsai, 46 weeks as of November 28th. You are going to get Harry Potter and the Headmistress's Hypothesis. And now we move on to...
That sounds like a lewd one.
Now we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where Shaun, as Joey Wheeler, will cast a spell, and I will tell you what happens.
Shit, I gotta pull up a list of spells, don't I?
Hey, or you can just make them up. It's whatever you feel. We start with your fave Beelzebub buddy, Lucifer.
You know, I feel like if I do, like, popular spells from JRPGs and you just have to fucking guess what they are, or tell me what you think they are, is gonna be the best route for this. Hold on. Gonna cast, Aguilau.
What the hell? I'm sorry, repeat that?
Aguilau.
Aguilau.
It's like Agi, but bigger.
Yeah, so Aguilau, it's you will age loudly. Every wrinkle that you have in your body makes noise. Raftalia's my anime waifu has returned.
You'll get, Mabufula.
This is, you summon a fluffy demon. Pizza Cotton Candy is my waifu.
I cast, Zionga.
Zionga, it makes it so that, you are now battery powered. Magic Ice Ball.
Garudine. Or Garudine, probably is how that's said. I don't fucking know.
You, permanently get, a rock form of Ein from Cowboy Bebop as a companion. Hermione.
So just fucking Rockruff then.
Yeah. But a corgi. Hermione pegs Harry and Ron.
You get Masayo.
You become the Messiah, but only for Cheerios. So you must save. If you do not save all the Cheerios in the world by midnight, you die. Then
Jesus.
we go
That's more of a curse than a spell, Ram.
spell. Hey, you could maybe that spell was a curse. Next we go to my dear old mom.
You get Makogaon.
Repeat that one.
Fuck. Makogaon.
All right. What happens is that all of the sharks within 100 feet of you all disappear. It's very, very, very niche spell. Charles...
It's very similar to Batman's anti-shark spray. In that regard.
Next up, we got Chelsea Nussbaum.
Let's go with Megidola.
You turn into a 30-foot doll. Blood Cell, back to not being the white one. Fuck those guys, they're way too aggressive.
How about Mamudo?
You turn into you get an Italian accent, but you also stumble a lot. Next up we have Blake.
How about Samarikan?
You have the ability to access cliff notes with your mind. And last but not least, going above and beyond, we have none other than Dylan Hayden.
You're gonna get Amarita Shower.
You become very dirty and you need a shower. Last but not least, oh wait, did I just do last but not least?
You just did Dylan.
Yeah, okay, cool. Now, if you guys want to reach out, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod or send an email over on to animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Any guesses on which game I pulled all those from, Rem?
Was it Final Fantasy?
Nope.
Was it the one that has Rising Sun, something like that? I don't know. It's a sun.
Rising Sun, something like that.
Yeah, it has a sun in its name. It's popular.
Is it? Because it's not coming to my mind when you're telling me it. No, Rem. It's from Persona, obviously.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, no, literally, you don't realize how silly some of these spells sound until you say them out loud, especially in a Joey Wheeler accent. But with that in mind, once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you all very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister. Only guild magic is respected in the world of Little Witch Academia, and I don't know what to do with this information. There's a lot of beasts in here, including a gigantic cock. My birthday wish is to fuck Shaun Rollins' grandparents. Please stay away from my grandparents.
Look, no, I want to clarify. I'm a guild hunter. I will hunt down... I will fuck all grandparents.